Guys, we talked a really long time last time.
Yeah, we did. But we are reformed. We are new people. That is not who we are anymore.
Not anymore.
Now here we go.
New beginning starts.
I don't know, but I believe.
Bruce and I are at Lowe's.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Thought Bubble episode number 2. If you watched last week's video, you'll notice that was really long. And we're not going to do that anymore. We are going to commit to every thought bubble being 15 minutes. And if that means we have to fast forward parts, we do. We might still post the longer version somewhere if people watch that. We know some of you will. But for everyone else, thought bubbles are now 15 minutes. All right, Bruce, I think it's your turn to
All right.
produce the bubbles.
So, it was my responsibility to come up with some questions to surprise Micah with. And my inspiration came from a question that you asked last week about what movie character do I think is a good role model? And, I responded with Mulan. And from then on, the Disney train sort of...
Oh, we got on the Disney
train left the station.
All
so
right.
this entire thought bubble session is Disney themed.
I like it. I like me some Disney.
All right, good. So this is one more for my own selfish side. I hope that's okay.
Okay.
I'm just curious. If you were playing matchmaker and you had to set me up with a Disney princess,
Oh.
what princess
I
would I have who's the lucky lady that gets to spend the rest of her life with me?
Well, it's funny you mentioned this because just earlier today I sent you a picture of the princess I would set you up with. It was definitely Ariel from Little Mermaid.
That's a good choice. Half mermaid, half woman.
Really, she could be an Olympian. Like that wouldn't be hard for her. Like you think Michael Phelps, Ariel. I feel like Ariel probably wins by default. Like she can hold her breath longer.
Yeah, she's got like the flippers and everything.
Yeah, the little twist at the end. I can do like the little turn and flip. That would be hard.
And she has a nice voice too.
She does have it. Well, yeah, I'm definitely going Ariel, and David Robbins can confirm this, but I did text Bruce earlier today saying I think this is a woman for you. So, next bubble.
Next bubble. All right. Well, for what it's worth, I think I would set you up with Belle.
Okay, I think Joelle and Belle they rhyme.
They rhyme.
They have the same hair color. Does this make him the Beast though?
You're far more handsome than he is, so I think you're
even,
right.
even at the end, like after he transforms.
All right.
Okay,
We'll come back to that one.
Undecided.
All right. So to kind of like transition, we've never watched a movie all the way through together, but I'm certain that between the two of us, we've seen a good number of Disney movies.
I mean, I was born in the 90s. You were born late 80s.
90. So
90. Okay, I wasn't quite sure.
yeah.
Okay.
But I'm curious to see what your like top 3 to 5 Disney movies are.
Okay.
And why.
I mean, you have to go, for me at least, number 1 is Lion King. I think it's just got this mythic, epic quality to it that
Definitely
few movies match that. Like the fact in my mind, this might be a bit of an exaggeration, but like when it comes to epic sagas, you've got stuff like Lord of the Rings or like Gladiator and Braveheart, and Lion King is right up there with them in that sort of just this deeper, truer story. After Lion King, all right. Why don't you? I can't think of one off the top of my head. What would be your number 1?
My number 1 is absolutely Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
The music is fantastic.
For sure.
It's got the romance. It's got the excitement. It has just everything that you want in a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just the love story. The princess is not like the snotty princess, but she's just beautiful in her humility, and it's just like, as a guy, like that's who.
Oh, for sure. Belle has that that noble beauty that you
Yeah.
don't even.
It's almost
see.
quiet. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's
yeah.
necessarily the right word, but it's kind of just like she's distinguished, but it's not like the nose up in the air.
Yeah, and I mean, not that we have to go like super deep into this, but when you read in Proverbs, like the characteristics of a good woman, you see a lot of those. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not that I want to compare Belle to the Proverbs like 31 woman, but like you could like the comparison is
there's-
there.
yeah.
So yeah, we just went there unafraid.
Any
Yeah, there. I really like I think, my number 2, and this is just for the pure entertainment of it, would probably be Aladdin. It's just I love how fast the humor is. I can't really bring like in like super redemptive like this is. It's just a great story, fun characters.
I mean, Robin Williams is the genie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't.
It's
it's hard to get better than that.
Here's a question for you. When you think of Robin Williams, is that the first character you think of him as?
That or Mrs. Doubtfire. I mean,
Okay.
like absolutely hilarious in that. And you know the story behind that is just hilarious as well. Like,
Yeah.
Robin Williams in kind of those roles where he's not quite serious, but it's just like it's just satire. Like he's just playing kind of just like a normal person. Because like he was in Hook too with like Dustin Hoffman, and like just in that movie like phenomenal.
See, I think for me, the first movie I think of when it comes to Robin Williams is Dead Poet Society.
Okay.
And that is one of those movies that is just phenomenal. And there is I love this moment because he like these kids have been so prim and proper and they're so stiff and they don't really even know how to learn.
Yeah.
And he has them tear out the front part of their books to get to the poetry. And he says a line that I write all the time. It's, "This is a battle, a war, and the casualties could be your hearts and souls." And I love just that, like, one line. Like, I bring that into so many areas of my life, like, writing that down on top of notes or something, like,
Yeah.
centered on that. Wow.
That's another great one.
That thought bubble just was like,
All right, so we got a
oh, don't pop it. Don't pop it. Bring it down. Yeah.
the other couple that I was thinking about was of course The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Great music in there. Like the characters all really entertaining. Like Sebastian the crab or lobster
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever he is. Like he's probably, if not my favorite, one of my very favorite Disney characters.
Yeah, it's Disney Pixar.
Can we do Disney Pixar?
Yeah. Oh, if we're throwing Pixar in there, then I mean I love everything about Pixar.
Yeah.
Like and then Cars 2, Brave, but you know Ratatouille, Monsters Inc., Up, like it's
Toy Story.
Toy Story. It's all good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So now you kind of mentioned this earlier when we were talking about Belle, but in the Proverbs 31 woman.
Bump, bump, bump. Still can't believe we went there, but that's what we do on Thought Bubbles. We go there.
And we're gonna take it a little step further.
Okay,
So-
cool. I like it.
So I'm prefacing this with I am nowhere near this stage in my life, so this is more just like hypotheticals.
Okay.
But if, you know, when the day comes, if you and I have daughters and say they want to dress up like a Disney princess for Halloween, how are you going to handle that? Like, do you say, I think it's great that you want to be a Disney princess, or no?
Well, I would probably say no to Ariel and Jasmine.
Because
It's a you know it's
the costume's a little risque.
It's
Like
a-
no midriff showing. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think. Sure. Wow, completely off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with a lot of Disney characters.
Okay.
And there'd be a few that I would like. Let's stay away from those. You know.
Okay.
But yeah.
Like specifically, or
Yeah, I would just say, you know, there are a few outfits that I would probably, you know, not want my kids wearing.
Okay.
But most of them are alright.
That's
yeah,
fair.
I'll go with that.
Okay. I'm gonna follow that up and I was hoping you were gonna take like a definitive stance and like we could debate about this, but you've ruined.
I was like, I mean, seashells? Probably not, but like anything else?
Okay,
All right. I mean, I draw the line at seashells.
So if it was like Cinderella, you would be okay with that.
I don't see why not.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So you're taking the affirmative that it's yes.
I feel like you're trying to set me up for something.
No. Like
Okay.
I just want to.
Aggressive thought bubble, you are.
I'm
a Yoda moment.
That was a good Yoda moment. So just touching on the pros of this. And I don't know what made me think of this, but it's just like in some actually in like a very real way, like every little girl is a princess. Like
Sure.
like she's a daughter of a king. Like
Yeah.
Father God, and I think that's I think that's a really cool opportunity to just like speak that kind of truth into a young girl's life and say like, yeah, it's awesome that you have this heart inside of you that desires to be a princess, desires to be like the apple of your father's eye, and I think there's a lot of beauty in that. And Lord willing, if I get the opportunity, I think that's definitely a great thing to go after. But then there's the other side of the coin.
Okay.
Kind of like, not necessarily like the Ariel or the Jasmine with the bare midriffs, but 1 Samuel 16:7 says that people look at the outward appearance, but it's the Lord who looks at the heart.
Okay.
And so then there's that opportunity as a father to sit down with your little girl and say, you're a princess, but it's more like God cares more about what's on the inside than your looks. Like,
Sure.
I think there's even a proverb that says like, beauty is fleeting, but what's inside the heart remains eternal. So,
I think you make a great point there. It's interesting because if we're making this whole thought bubble Disney themed, how often you don't. I'm trying to think of that princess model where it's actually like there is a good king or a good like a good father figure, and most like I'm going through my mind now and like. Cinderella's dad died, and the evil stepmother. Jasmine's dad was kind of the Sultan. Was kind of this a bit of a buffoon.
yeah.
Belle's dad wasn't bad, but he
wasn't really involved.
Yeah, he. I mean, ultimately, she sacrificed for him.
Yeah.
I think. I think there's a moment there you have to kind of go like this. That level of like, a daughter of the king is absolutely true, but I'm not sure I can think of a lot of good precedents for where the king was represented well.
Yeah. So maybe that's our cue as men to step up.
Yeah,
a little bit more.
it's like, honey, you're a princess, but it means I have to be a good king, and I mean, God is the good king.
Yeah.
But like
I
little
mean,
little kings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in a lot of ways God makes us kings over the kingdoms that He entrusts us to, whether it's at work or school or church or whatever. Like, we have opportunities to lead well, serve well, and love well.
Absolutely.
So we can just wrap this up really quick, but are Disney princesses good role models?
Oh, we're going back to this question. I love it.
Just to like sum it up, like
I would say so. I think most, because we talked a lot about Mulan last week, which is really, I think, the best part of that thought bubble. So go back and watch that. It's towards the end, but watch the whole thing, of course, but especially watch that.
6,000 minutes of it.
I think most of the time Disney princesses are put in a light that's worth modeling. You see traits. Actually, I'm trying to go through my mind as fast as I can. I think certain ones exemplify things well.
Okay.
I think
So overall, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I can dig it.
Yeah. So, well, guys, thanks for joining us on this thought bubble. Until next week. Oh, one other announcement. Probably should have put this at the beginning. Thought bubbles, we are super excited, are now going to be every single week because they're awesome, and thought bubbles to serve to be created every week. So every Friday night-ish, afternoon-ish, look for a thought bubble. In the meantime, I'm Twiddles.
I'm Tiger.
Ciao. Bye.